Right then, we're on something a little bit unusual for us this time of year. We've been flat out on his own projects, doing as much of them, and to be fair, I've been doing a lot of the mechanical work on them because we're just so busy in the workshop. It's a good job we're in lockdown, otherwise we'd not get anything done because we'd be art racing and track daying. So, Audi Q7, we get asked about these quite a lot. The videos that we've been putting on recently with the V12 Q7 and our V10 Touareg, everybody's saying, why don't you get a V8 Q7? And we definitely want a V8, but we're going to probably get a Porsche Cayenne. I do like the looks of a Gen 2 Touareg, but the Porsche is just something a little bit different, and we're going to probably take that off-roading. So we don't really need a Q7 unless it's a V12. And these are no good off-road. People are saying, would they be any good off-road? They've got no diff locks. They're absolutely massive. The weigh loads. The only good thing about a Q7 compared to the other two, they've got 7 seats. Otherwise, I prefer the others. But 4.2 V8, if you are going to have a Q7, this is probably the one to have. The V6 is probably a little bit, they're not bad when they're tuned, but you want a bit more. And the V12, as you've seen from the other video, there's a lot of problems that you've got to figure out and a lot of big expenses, but the rest of the stuff around it's the same sort of money, just the engine's sort of not too bad. So this is a 4.2, which is basically, in essence, I know it's a 4.2, but they're basically two 2-litre engines when you look at them, bolted together. The turbo's quite small. It's bigger than what's on sort of a normal, probably like a 170, a bit bigger than like on a 172 litre. 1752. Some have got a 1749, which is a similar size, but these are 1752s. They've got turbo speed sensors in them as well, which when we were measuring that at 1.7 bar a boost, that was 225,000 RPM, which is crazy speeds. It operates, like I said, it operates like 2 separate engines, 2 ECUs, 2 crank sensors, 2 MAF sensors, 2 map sensors, 2 of everything. So if something goes wrong, it can sometimes be a bit of a pain to figure that out. That's where the V6s are a bit better, a bit simpler, just one of everything on them. So this should be 335 horsepower and about 560 foot-pound of torque, thereabouts. So 332 horsepower and 615-ish pounds-feet of torque, something like that. So a fair bit more than what it should be, 60 or so. But that's not too bad. But then with a tune, we're sort of just about tipping 700. So 80 pounds-feet more, which is a decent increase, and that's all the way across the board. And then 60 horsepower more, which is pretty good. Maybe we're a little bit playing around and stuff. You could maybe get a bit more torque and sacrifice the horsepower. But if it were mine, I'd probably push loads in at the bottom end and sacrifice it at the top and maybe change the gearbox to change up a bit quicker. But you sort of don't want to start playing too much with that on a customer car because it can make things a bit weird. So the limiting factor on this, as always with these sort of engines or any engine, mainly common rail stuff, is the EGTs. You're not really limited by smoke like in a PD engine. You just put fuel in until it starts smoking more than you want and take a bit out. Whereas with these, you're not going to really see any smoke. The exhaust temps are just getting out. It's just about pushing 900 right at the top of the revs. But the good thing about the common rail system, and this V8 in particular, the air to fuel ratio here, we're sort of averaging around 23s, 24s. So it's not too bad. So 23 parts, 24 parts air to 1 part fuel on the standard green line. But then on the tune file, we're not that much richer until sort of 3,300 RPM. So that's good if you're keeping the DPFs. This has had them removed. I don't think the customer's had any problems, but it's done about 90,000 miles, which is about average for these at this sort of age. And he wanted them taken out just for peace of mind, I think. So the EGR will be blanked and turned off, the DPF will be turned off. Whether it makes much difference to power, I think that's the same as what we normally see, sort of 380s, 390s. So if your car's running well, it makes no difference. We have got the stainless pipes available for this now, so they should be in description if you want to click on them and get them. They're very similar to the V10 ones, not quite the same, but very similar, same price. I think they're probably going to be in the same list. I'm not sure if they're listed yet, but anyway, that's them. So I think the next job, go out and drive it. So we're out in the Q7. Just had to do some weird procedure to stop it being in Dyno mode or whatever it's called. And it seems alright. Get a little squeeze. Yeah. That's quick for a car, never mind a 3-ton barge. That's pretty well. Sounds pretty nice as well. It's definitely not a V8 petrol sound. Full throttle, 1500 straight there. No messing. We're all steaming up here. There's a definite difference in the quality of the interior trim on this compared to the V12 we were in a few weeks ago. It's a bit more nice stuff in that one. But these are still an expensive car. This one probably 70 grand, something like that. V12s start at 90s, so they weren't cheap. Paddles are quite responsive. I don't want to change steering wheel position. We're regretting turning heaters on absolutely full now. I'm burning here. Works better than Touareg. Savage.
I didn't expect that.
It revs it a lot in manual. It's got more power and weight than it's got brakes. Definitely more power and weight than it's got brakes. I want to put it into sport this time. Savage that, innit?
The initial launch is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is good. You win a lot of people at traffic lights launching like that. Just that first or second gear change is a bit slow, innit? It's a bit like.
It's not getting more.
No?
870 is the maximum.
Oh, that's good then, isn't it? That's cooler than Dyno.
I wanted to leave it a bit low because it's got a tow hook, so I was like.
Yeah. So the V8 Q7, really nice engine. And if instead of watching telly you're making kids, the perfect car for the large family, it seems. 7 seats. Yeah, drives really nice. The customer will be very happy. Hopefully we'll try and get it sorted for him to pick up today. And really happy. This engine needs to go in something smaller and lighter, and it'd be a blast. Cheers.